First of all, thank you all for being already such an energetic audience. So lots and lots of Mrs. Sudha Murty fans here. So give a big, huge hello. Okay. Okay, great. So you all know we are here to discuss the topic, which is the child within. Now I'm going to go straight in, talk to you, and then give the audience some time for questions. So my first question is, what inspired you to start writing for children? So was there a particular moment which sparked this journey? When did you suddenly start thinking, I want to write for young people?
When I was 12 years old, I studied in a government school, very ordinary school. Ordinary student, ordinary school. Okay. My teacher went on a maternity leave for 4 months and there was no substitute teacher. So while going, she told me, Sudha, you are the class monitor. You look after the class, which was between 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And at a young age of 12 years, you get a power. You feel you are, your highest person. At any age you feel, but at that age you feel more. And I was a short girl. And my classmates were taller than me. They said, what this shorty can do in the class. They used to trouble me a lot. Then I said, how to hold the attention of students, my colleagues or my classmates. I just tried a method. It was in the year 1962, Sausala Pehle kind. I said, let me convert one history class, one lesson into a story and tell them, let me see. It was Chitod Padmini. I remember that, Chitod Padmini. I converted her story, like Padmini came, that fellow saw her, she was hiding, all these are my own things, adding. And all the tall girls started listening to me. That day I realized, if you want to hold attention of anyone, particularly your husbands, okay? Make good stories without flaw so that you will win the war. So I realized the importance of storytelling. And when I became a grandmother, or when I became a teacher actually, the best way is I used to teach 1 hour class, but the best way is teach 45 minutes class, 15 minutes stories related to the subject. I'll make a story at that time. My students have done very well in real life, and I asked them, Beta, I taught you C++, Pascal, Java. Did it help you anywhere in your life? Then, oh ma'am, we learn from internet many things, but we remember your stories. So storytelling is a great art. Everyone sitting here, you have thousands of stories within you, but you have not tapped it and making it a story. So when I thought of children, today's children, grandparents are extremely busy in attending the, in observing, seeing the TV serials. When somebody is getting married, Rama is getting married, so the grandparents are really worried. Today's serial, she will get married or not. So grandparents are busy in TV serials. Parents are busy in software work, but that's my world. Then how children will get a good value system? That system is, if you tell Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara, you should be like that, they think it's a moral science class and they will run away. All moral science class, attendance is 0. So I said, how will I connect myself to the next generation, giving them good values in today's scenario? Then I said, okay, convert every value into a story.
That's actually so amazing, because what you were saying is very true, because one of the things about children's writing is that you have to tell stories which have a moral, which have depth, but you can't preach to children. So what is the best way to tell a story to a child? How many of you have children here?
Most of them.
How many of you, struggle to sometimes tell them stories which keep them hooked? So can you give some tips? Looks like everyone knows how to keep their children engaged. But can you tell us, how do you give them stories which have depth and resonance and meaning without sort of preaching to them?
Well, I think about it. It's not that immediately I get a story. I think about it and I will rewrite it in my mind first. For example, I was cutting onion one day. I said, why can't I write a story how onion got its layers? But how I will write it? Then I thought maybe somebody had, like a sari gives me an idea of layers. Then I thought, okay, I will convert that. So I thought for a day or two, and by this time, I'm well versed with technical things, how to write that. So simple things like why mango is sweet, why bamboo is bountiful, okay? Bamboo is bountiful. Why chilies are, red, all these things, small things. I'll make a story. Why sea water is salty. These are small things, but create a story in that if you are greedy, if you lie to your elders, if you don't work hard, if you are jealous, then the end result is bad. This is the moral. I will make a story. One had good things, he or she succeeded. One had bad things, they failed. It's a simple logic. Make it in a very simple way. Write it in a more simple way so that anybody can understand it.
One of the things which this makes me think, I'm the mother of a 5-year-old myself, is that how do you help children to maintain their innocence in today's times when you see there's so many things on social media, they're exposed to so much that none of us had when we were growing up. So how do you explain these values and stories to them which allows them to maintain their innocence in today's world?
Actually, many people ask me, how do you write? You are quite impractical. People tell me about me.
Are you very impractical?
Maybe impractical. They say it's fine. People can tell me anything. What I know, what I am. I don't worry about that. Okay. People will tell you
a big round of applause.
No. People will tell you look very beautiful. I ask what do you want? I know at 74 how I should look. I know. Mirror tells me what I am. So I'm not worried about what people talk. I said I write children book well because I have a child within. I have a child within. What is the definition of a child? It is not because the child is short, tall age. If you are innocent, if you are truthful, if you are adventurous, and if you are very curious, that mindset is called a child mind. Okay? Again, if your expectation in life is minimum, that is also a child's mind. Like a child enjoys the good lollipop. Whereas the mother will not say, oh, I don't know what water it is, whether it may, gala kharab ho jayega, and all those things. So if you want to retain that beauty of a child, then you should be like a child. When I write for children, it takes under 2 to 3 days for me to become a child. 7, 8 years. If I'm writing for 8 years, I'll become 8 years child. Then
how do you do that? Tell us a little bit about how you do that.
It takes 2, 3 days. I said, okay, I'm going to be a child. That means what? I don't dislike anybody. I don't make any comment. I'm a child. What child enjoys? Fatty persons. A child enjoys miser stories. A child enjoys always a positive note. That means happy ending. Though I look life with that angle. Okay? When I look the life at that angle, it takes a couple of days for me to be a child in my mind. Then I will think of a story which I enjoy as a child, then I will write it. I will never be a 74 years old Sudha Murty to write for a child who is 8 years old. I myself will become 8 years old inside. It takes a couple of days for me to be like that. Then I write all the stories. It takes more time for me from there to come to Sudha Murty at 74. Because to be child is a great joy. I'm getting in the part of a great joy. Coming out is painful because you have to come to the real life, reality where people are so different. So, to write a children book, you require to be a child within you. Enjoy every moment. A good rain, a good mango, a lollipop, ice candy, small things. Enjoy. Don't keep a high bar of expectation. I will be happy only if you get me a car. This is not a child, it's a mother. Okay? A child will be happy with the cycle. So, when you like simple things, enjoy simple things, you will become a child.
And in your case, you've always, I've known you now for almost
Long
15
time.
years. And one of the things which has never changed about you is you have always maintained this childlike quality within yourself, even though you have had a very extraordinary life by anybody's standards. Most people do not have all of the things that you have in terms of the experiences you've had. How do you maintain that childlike quality in spite of having so many things which could have stopped you from maintaining it?
To great extent, how you have been brought up. I was brought up in a family where learning was so important, learning was important than money. And if you're curious and you want to learn, that time you realize the real joy. My grandmother started learning alphabet at the age of 62. So that I've inherited that quality. At any age you can learn anything. So when learning, you inherit the quality of learning and enjoying small things. I always enjoy small things, not big things. That makes my life simpler. And I always say, look, I'm like this. If somebody wants to play a game with me, let them play. I will not play games. I don't dirty my mind. I will be like this. I may lose, but I want to retain that freshness, that happiness of a child within me. And that's the reason everyone enjoys a child's company. It is not a transactional company. And probably that's one of the reasons that my writings have attracted even elders, because I still am not a transactional person. I keep it the way I am, and I'm happy the way I am. I get happiness the way I am. Not comparing with someone, not, sold by, okay, they told me something, I should give them back. None of them. A child, maybe 7, 8 years, 10, 12 years, I don't know what I have inside. I'll be happy in small things, and I'm happy what I am. That's the reason I could retain it.
Thank you. One of the things which I find in many, many countries is that children's literature is often quite particular to different countries, and it's a very important way to transmit your culture, your heritage, your very particular values as a society onto the next generation. So what do you think is the importance of preserving children's literature to teach our culture to the next generation? And also, how can we do that without, again, making it preachy?
When I wrote 3 books, Grandma's Bags of Stories, Grandpa's Bags of Stories, Grandparents' Bags of Stories, there are 150 stories, I think it may be there, but I did lot of work, rework, research, etc. I found out India is one of the, actually only country, I think, which has millions of stories. If you read stories from the Germany or the Europe in general, they are very logical, because their whole culture is very logical. If you read stories from China, they are different kind, like how you convert with the magic something. You read Arab countries, they have Wazir-e-Alam, then there will be Alauddin kind of stories, But if you read in India, we have all sorts of stories. And every story is uniquely connected to certain things. Other day I was in Delhi, Purana Killa, there are a lot of artifacts of the Mohenjo-daro Harappa time. And one small vase they showed me. On that, there was no language, because this is Indus Valley civilization. On that cup, there was a small cup, picture of a painting of a small cup, a jar. On that, a crow is sitting, and a crow in his beak has a stone. This story everyone knows. You take a stone, put it in a water jug, and the water comes and drinks. This story was told to us 7,000 years back. Can you imagine? 7,000 years back, and still we tell. It is not that, written there. You understand that. Every story is a part of our culture. I cannot write a cheating story, because I really do not know how to cheat. I write always a happy ending, because I believe in positive thinking. And I always say, life, you have to look ahead with a positive mindset. So my stories are always at the end funny, positive, and hope. Okay? So that depends upon the country and the culture. And when I cannot do that one, then suddenly I say it was a God's gift. Because in India, we always talk about it's a God's gift. Somewhere I'll bring that. Every country has their own culture and their own folk stories, and it indicates the way they think and they have been brought up.
No, absolutely. Um, Now I'm going to ask you a question because your books, you've written so many children's books, and they're all like your children, and you're not supposed to play favorites with your children. But if you had to pick one or two of your own favorite stories, which are the ones which are closest to your heart and why?
It's very hard, Meru, because each story is my child. And it's very hard for a mother to choose. However, the art of storytelling goes on changing. So I realize children like miser stories. I also like miser stories.
Tell us a good miser story.
Oh, yeah, it's very difficult. Out of 150, I made only 5 more miser stories. I could not make more than 5. I could not make more than 5. Whereas, comparison stories and all those things you can make. Coconut burfi is one of my favorite story. There was a miser and his wife, he told, let me have a coconut burfi. And he tells his wife. She says, okay, bring the ingredients. Yeah, all my miser stories, wife is large-hearted, husband is a miser.
I hope Mr. Murthy is not sitting somewhere listening.
Actually, he says he is large-hearted, I am miser. Okay. Anyway, husband says, okay, I will bring coconut. He goes to the shop and asks coconut how much it costs. They say it's 10 rupees or something. It's very expensive because he's miser, he has never bought anything. Then he says, where can you give it for 5 rupees? They say, okay, walk 2 more kilometers, you get for 5 rupees. He goes there, it is a 5 rupees. All of you know that. I love that story. After 2 kilometers, he says, you will get it for 2 rupees. He goes on walking up to the seashore, and there he can get a free coconut, but it is on the coconut tree. He says, okay, let me get it free. He climbs a tree, and coconut is not easy to pluck from its tree. It's quite hard actually. And to do that, actually, I tried one. I brought that and I tried to pluck it. It was very hard. I always try it before I write. So he tries, and there's a gush of wind, and he holds it, and he loses his balance. He starts hanging in the air. Now, if he falls, it will be more expensive. Then he meets a man who is on the mouth, who is on the elephant. He says, will you help me out? And you just hold my leg and I will come down. He said, okay, give me 1,000 rupees. He said, my God, otherwise this fellow will die. He said, okay. That fellow holds his leg and the elephant moves. 2 people are hanging now. Then comes a horse and the person sitting on the horse. They beg him, please hold our legs and we'll come down. He said, give me 10,000. He says, fine. There is no other way. He holds and the gush of wind comes. No, the horse runs away. All 3 are hanging and they all fall off them. 3 of them fall. They are all admitted to the hospital. He spends 1 lakh rupee for that. He said, I wish I would have bought 10 rupees coconut. This is one of them. There are many, 5 stories I have created, and it's not easy to create because it should be fun and it should have a lesson and you also should enjoy it.
I think that that's quite a strong moral in that story. But this brings me to something which I've always thought about, which is that, there's a lot that adults can learn from children's stories. So children's stories are not just for children. There's, what advice would you give to the adults in the audience? What can children's literature teach them? And can you recommend 1 or 2 stories which will be just as good for grown-ups, even if they're not your stories, any stories which you think a grown-up would enjoy as much as a child would?
There are many stories which I learnt in mythology which attracted my attention. I mean, if you look at it the way you look at it actually. All of us have seen Maruti, Hanuman carrying Sanjeevani, that Himalaya, where the Sanjeevani booty is there. Everybody has seen that kind of a photo. So whenever, I have difficulties in life, I look at that story and I tell to myself, Hanumanji goes to Himalayas to find out Sanjeevani booty. He doesn't know which is Sanjeevani there. Now the time is running out. He has to take the booty. Then he looks at Himalaya, it's very tall. And Hanuman is not that tall, Maruti is not that tall. But he had a gift. In case, in emergency, he can change his body and become taller than Himalaya. So he became taller than Himalaya. Himalaya looks smaller, like a, like a coconut. He holds it in his hand and he flies. The rest of the story you know. I learned from this story one thing. When you have difficulties in life, you should grow bigger than the difficulty. Like I have a leg pain, but I said, oh, there's a leg pain, how will I do? I said, okay, I will take a tablet in the night, I will have a massage in the night. But I have so many positive things to do. You should grow bigger than the difficulty, and difficulties will become smaller in your hand, and you can solve it better. Oh, this has happened to me, only to me, no one has happened. What a bad naseeb I have and all. No, then your difficulties will eat you up. Look down upon difficulties, and you grow bigger than that. And that kind of stories I like, which gives me resilience in life, which teaches me to look at positive things, which teaches me to be simple in life, because if you are simple, life is enjoyable. If a thief comes to my house, what he can take, I always tell. He can take all my books. No thief takes books nowadays. On the contrary, if he has high-tech gadgets, he will take. If a thief comes, what he will take? He can take my old saris. Nobody wears saris nowadays, okay? Because sari is too difficult to wear, people say. A thief cannot take anything. That means keep your house simple. You can go anywhere, walk anywhere. The more you store, the more valuable things you keep, then you cannot sleep at all. I went to Sri Lanka and I went to one Buddhist vihara. The Swamiji was so busy. I said, why? I have a jade Buddha, I have a gold Buddha. I said, Swamiji, what a life you have. How many keys you have to put it? Then you make life simple, things will be easy to go around, things will be easy to maintain. The more you hoard and you think it's so important in life, in your house, more difficult it is. And that is how life is. You have to accept life as it comes. Accept life. When you are down, you should say, so what, I'm lost the battle, but I will win the war. Look everything as much as possible with hope that tomorrow will be better than today. Make and I'm like such stories which gives me resilience in life, which allows me to accept negative things in life, which tells me you are a human being, you have a limitation in life. Such stories I like. And I like to write such stories as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. When you started writing, you were a mother and now you're a grandmother. So how has it been different for you to write as a mother versus being a grandmother? Because I know you're going to be writing for teenagers soon as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the difference?
Okay, I will tell funny side of that. When a child is grown up in India, knowingly or unknowingly, we know Ramayana, Mahabharata and our mythology. Okay? And the whole circumstance also will be like the same way. I have two granddaughters who are in England. When they were young girls, I thought I will teach them. What I want to teach them? Okay, Gopika and Krishna's story. So I told Krishna went to Yamuna river and the Gopikas were talking, they will complain to Yashoda. And how Krishna, the original story is, Krishna takes all the saris and then they pray him, he gives and they go home. And I told my granddaughter, will you repeat it, this one? She was maybe 7, 8 years old at that time. She said, Aji, I made some modification and I was very happy that my granddaughter has also become a creator like me, creator of story. She said, Krishna was a naughty boy and he used to go to everybody's house and eat and drink cheese and paneer from the refrigerator. All the mothers said, Krishna's mom has not taught him good manners. And one day, it was the Christmas time, they went to take they went to the swimming pool and wanted to have, warm water swimming class on that day. And they heard harmonica somewhere. And they came back after their swimming. All the lockers were opened and their dress was not there. So they said, Krishna, you come down, otherwise we will sue you. Krishna came down. Then he made a deal that they will have a pizza and the hot chocolate outside, so that they can wear their dress. And this is the Krishna Avtara of my grandchildren. That means the country they grow up, where there's no Krishna around, where there's a refrigerator and you can't ask, go to somebody's house and open and take it. For them, the Krishna was modified that way in London because it is the culture around you. The same story in a village, you see that, dahi matki you do on Gokulashtami, they say all those things. Second one, I told another story, that Draupadi had a pot, Akshay Patra, and one day Rishi Durvasa came and she made some food, but that day she could not make it, and he was very upset. You know all the Akshay Patra story. Will you repeat it? The second one said, okay, I will repeat with some modification. I was worried. The modification came. Draupadi with her husband went to a picnic and her brother Krishna gave her a pressure cooker. But he told her, no, what is that? Not only pressure cooker, it's the old term. Now what do you call?
Instapot.
Instapot. Instapot, but he told one condition. Draupadi, if it is not clean, people will have diarrhea. Be careful. Then Draupadi said yes. One day, Uncle Durvasa came to her house without taking an appointment. Lands up with his friends and he says, I want to eat food in your house. And Draupadi was very upset, but she sends them to a swimming pool. She doesn't know what to do. She takes a mobile, calls her brother Krishna. Krishna says, let me check. And she says, today is Sunday, half day, all the supermarkets are closed. And there is no Zomato in that area. What to do? Krishna looks at this Instapot and he says, oh, there's one grain of rice is there. If they eat, they will have diarrhea. Then Draupadi says, go and inform them. Krishna tells Durvasa, please don't eat today. It is not clean because she has not added additives and not cleaned her Instapot. Then they go away. This is Draupadi's Akshay Patra. I was so scared to tell Draupadi Vastraparana. My own sari, I have to hold it. So children make stories. They are very creative. And depending on the culture where they grow up, they make that kind of stories. You should not get upset. You should say, this is another way of looking at life. In that culture, appreciate everything because creativity is the same.
Wonderful. It's quite a risky business. Well, we've spoken about your children, your grandchildren, and now I want to talk about another very special person in your life, and that is Gopi.
People think Murty. You should have Gopi.
Okay, we'll add him. But I think Gopi first or Mr. Murty first?
Gopi first.
Gopi is her pet dog, and she has written a wonderful series of book called the Gopi Diaries. So can you tell us what it is about pets that help us to stay in touch with the child within, and what was it like to write about your beloved Gopi?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't answer last question. Only half portion I told, other half I'll finish first. Writing for my grandchildren, I thought I will write when they are in teenage, where they will be able to understand. So I wrote Magic of the Lost Temple, where I love archaeology a lot. I wanted my grandchildren should learn archaeology. So I made a story in a village where I am the Aji. Aji means grandmother in my language. I wrote Magic of the Lost Temple for teenage people. A teenage granddaughter, her name is Anushka. Then I wrote Magic of the Lost Story, Knowing Your Heritage, in a very simple way. And the second one, this year, I'm going to write one more book, The Magic of the Lost Earrings. They're all series I'm writing for teenage girls. But I should be aware, but today's teenage are different than my teenage time. They are more knowledgeable, they are more digital friendly, they know Instagram, they also know Wikipedia. So I should recheck all
How do you do your research for this?
Well, any novel I take 2 to 3 years to write. Any novel, it's always in my mind. For example, Grandpa's Bags of Stories, I wrote in Himalayas, that is in Mayavati in Uttarakhand. So I went to Uttarakhand, stayed there in that ashram, went around Pithogarh, Lohgarh, etc., came back and then I wrote. The stories are imaginary, but the geography is real. So I take time when I write anything, I'll make research. I make a lot of research. Like the Magic of the Lost Earrings, I went and made research of the museum laws. Can you imagine? In India, We had a Curzon law up to 1979. If you find out something, archaeological artifacts in your house, who owns it, you or government? The Lord Curzon made a rule up to 1979. In 1979, it changed. So I wanted my character should be before 1979, where there are not so much of, checking. So I do lot of research before I write, because one thread should be real, other thread should be imaginary, and I weave the story, one real, one imaginary. So when the cloth is ready, that means my audience are ready, they will never understand which is real, which is imaginary. Okay.
Thank you.
Now
And you have
coming
to
to
tell us
Gopi.
about Gopi,
I'll
and then
tell
we
you.
will open it up for questions
Yeah.
after that.
Gopi is my heartbeat. Okay. Gopi is a pup. Now he's a big dog. And I grown up with dogs. Dogs are not new to me. One day I thought, if I am dog, that habit I have, changing the role. Okay. If I am dog, and how will I look up to human beings? I became Gopi in my mind. Then I said, okay, let me write my own story. How I came to Sudha Murty's house, how my son brought him, and I became his Aji, and how Aji feeds me. I thought nobody will read this kind of a story. I wrote that, and it became extremely popular. That led to next story book, that is Finding Love. First is Finding Home, second one is Growing Up. Narayan Murthy is extremely scared of dogs, because he was bitten by a dog when he was young. He said, choose between me and a dog. Then I had to choose him at that time. Now, then I said, okay, this dog came as a gift to us from my son for 8 months. Then he remained with me. How Mr. Murthy changed with Gopi's affection. He changed man he became. Today he doesn't eat without Gopi eating. And when I put Gopi on a diet, because, he should be thin, not like he's a G. Okay. And when I'm not there, Mr. Murthy gives more food to him. He said, you be like your Aji. Okay. Growing up, Gopi became a father. In real life, it's true. So how he met his future wife? In a swimming pool he met. And fourth book is Gopi went out one day, and it's a real story. He brought one street dog with him. He brought a street dog with him, and he loves paneer. I gave one piece of paneer to him. He took half of it and gave half to that street dog. I said, Gopi is a real philanthropist. Okay. Gopi is a very well-known dog in Karnataka, particularly in Bangalore, and people call me Gopi is a G. Okay. So Gopi is, I express my all views of Gopi through my writing, and he is very popular, very kind, and he feeds. He gives 2,000 kgs of rice every month for the street dogs from his royalty. So Gopi is not a simple dog. He's a very handsome. All dog owners feel the same way. He is very handsome, very lovable, and is my heartbeat. Okay.
Thank you so much. I have so many other questions to ask, but I know the audience has more. Yeah. So who has the mic? Where is the mic? There's the mic. Can we start with this lady up here in the pink? Yeah. I've kept enough time for questions. Thank you so much, Mrs. Murthy. Can we give her a big round of applause, please? Thank you.
नमस्कार मैम।
नमस्ते।
मैं सबसे ज़्यादा खुश इस बात से हूँ कि मेरा नाम भी सुधा है।
अच्छा।
और मेरे
I hope your husband's name is not Narayan Murthy.
नहीं। मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि मैं अपने अलावा एक बहुत पॉजिटिव सुधा से मिल रही हूँ। क्या आप इससे पहले कभी किसी पॉजिटिव सुधा से मिले?
Actually, it's a good question, but I don't know. I really do not know. No, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. But I'm always positive from the beginning, from the childhood.
Okay.
Alpatrupti, happy, and easy. I'm a very easy person. I'm not a tough person. Actually, I was an easy mother. I'm not a strict mother at all. I will play with them. I will have bet. As a teacher, I used to have bet with my students. Okay? So in general, I take life as it comes and easy. Don't make it complicated, Make it easier. Chalo.
Are there any children in the audience?
One question from
One question from here.
They are my clients. They buy my books and make me rich and
Can you
famous.
both combine your question quickly? Yeah.
Fast better.
He's younger, so yeah.
I want to know that how old is Gopi?
My God. Gopi is 6 years old. Okay. One more
All
question.
right.
Fast.
There's
fast.
taking one from here. Oh, there's no mic here, so we'll wait. We'll take one from that
Okay,
gentleman
fine,
over
fine.
there. Yeah. We're mixing it up. Yeah. Now we'll send the mic there. Yeah, there'll be a mic. Can you come over there, please? Can you come over there? Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep the two questions, please, and not comments. Thank
हम
you.
उस खुशकिस्मत जनरेशन में हैं जिसकी शुरुआत हम चंपक और नंदन से करते हैं बट टुडे ऑल द मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट्स आर रीडिंग हैरी पॉटर एंड मैनी मोर सो इट्स अ बिग डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड चिल्ड्रन टुडेज चिल्ड्रन हाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड सुधा जी व्हाट डू यू थिंक
I don't restrict them. Don't read Harry Potter, read my books. No. You read whatever you want, but please have the reading habit. First, you should have a reading habit, otherwise, they will become all, you please remember all parents here. Please remember you cannot avoid next generation, Instagram, Facebook, or digital media, you can't. But allow them to use it with a ration. That's all I tell them. Because the moment they have digital media entertainment, the gratification is high, but it curtails your creativity. See, I grew up in a village where there was no electricity. That was an advantage to me because I could imagine anything. Like you talk about Krishna or Vasudeva or anybody, I can imagine in different shades. But once it's digitized, your imagination comes down, your creativity comes down. So if children read, I'm happy. But if they read Harry Potter, there's nothing wrong, which is very enchanting to them. My granddaughters read Harry Potter first, then they read my book. I said, fair enough. Which enchants you as long as it has a good moral content, allow them to read. Don't restrict. Our Vedas say, let all noble thoughts come from all direction. Don't restrict a country or caste, creed, language. Let them read, let them enjoy. If it is good, you also read along with them. Yeah.
Thank you. There's a very young girl over here. You in the red with lots of sparkly stars. That's you? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
What's your name?
Harshita.
Okay,
me.
Harshita, ask your question.
How much do you love Gopi?
Well, a lot. How much your mom loves you, that much I love Gopi. Okay.
There's a JLF volunteer who wants to ask a question.
Fine,
The volunteers do a lot of work, so
Yeah, let them.
Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaste.
Myself, Mrigang Tripathi. As far as I am aware of your writing, so much of your writing comes from particular people whom you meet during your travel. So I just want to know, how do you get all these people to open up about their lives?
Okay. Purgank is worried I might write about him only. Okay. No. What happens, I will tell you. Every human being want to tell their story. They may hide inside. With some people, they open up. Okay, some people, they open up. I'm not the only person they open up. There are many stories in my book which are told by many people and tell them, we can't write the stories, but this is our story. Will you write it? I take permission also and change the name. So many stories are stories of many people who come and tell me also. And second thing is, when I'm a teacher for a long time, within a few conversations, I can make them to open up. Okay? That is the second one. Third one, everyone, please remember, all of us have many, many stories. But we do not know how to express. We are scared to express. We are worried in case I express, somebody will give me some name. And I'm so much concerned about my image in the society. So tomorrow they may say, look at that person, how she told that, what is she? We are worried or we are carried away by what others think about me, and we don't tell the stories. If you tell stories, at times they will help somebody to come out of difficulties. When somebody is down, you tell them, please don't worry, this too shall pass. They will become confident. Storytelling has a meaning to make you happy and think positively. And don't go on telling negative stories. Life itself has a lot of difficulties. Why tell all negative stories? Someone had difficulties, how they came out. That's what people care for, and that's what I write. Yeah.
Thank you.
The
There's a
lady in the pink sari, she's asking for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get the mic to her? There's actually
Not pink actually. What is this color, beta? It is not pink. Gajri color. We say in South India, Kanakambara color. Okay. Tell me.
I am going to cherish this sari for all my life.
Yeah, I thought you will give it to me. Anyway, I don't buy. I thought she will give one. I will have additional sari.
Namaste, Ai.
Sanga. Telo.
It's an honor just to ask this question. But the question is, since you are saying to preserve the child, how do you balance being an independent working woman and also never let the child die and raise kids and get married to a wonderful human? How do you do all of that?
Get married is over 50 years back, okay? Not made any effort in that. Now, how do I? I'm an independent person. I know if somebody is playing a game, I understand the game, okay? I said, let them do that. I will not do that. There are many ways when people try to cheat you. One is you cheat them. Second one is ignore them. Third one is don't go. I ignore actually. I said, let them do. And I'm very clear about what I want. I'm very clear about what I want. If somebody wants to extract money, just because they praise me, I don't give. Somebody wants to say that, okay, we'll do these things for you. I said, no, you don't have to do anything. I will do myself. I keep my conscience very clear what that person is up to. Okay? Do I want it or not? If I don't want it, I don't get into that game at all.
Thank you. There's a lady over here who's been waiting for a
Yeah,
long time.
right,
We have two. There's a lady here, and there's somebody who's made a painting for you of Gopi and you.
Yeah? Okay.
So okay, let's go here.
Hello, ma'am. You just told that it's very difficult to preach kids, and for that sake, you wrap the stories, the teachings into the stories. Same is true with the husbands as well. And
Make
since
more
you are
story.
managing the Infosys man, how you wrap the things in the stories? That is my question. And another book, is it awaited when you are writing stories for the husbands?
I just joke. The best joke is, I always joke on husbands, because every woman likes it. Okay? No, I'm not managing Infosys. Okay, I have retired from Infosys Foundation. My full-time job is in Rajya Sabha. I will try to do as much as I can. And, first, initially you find it difficult to write stories. Once you understand it, then you'll do it. Then you can do it anytime. Give me one idea, I can make a story within 10 or 15 minutes. Smaller stories. But when I want to make my own bigger stories, I do research. Because every clause should be right. That I will do. Yes.
Thank you. There's a
Okay.
lady over here.
Yeah.
That's
The girl with the yellow, this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, you are,
Yeah,
you are
you.
asking. Yes, beta.
Good afternoon. My name is Saira Dua. I'm from Pathway School, Gurgaon. So my question is, in an age where AI is becoming slowly more abundant, how do you think the art of storytelling will change?
Oh, how old are you, Saira?
I'm 16 years old.
Okay, I thought it's your mother's question. No, it's your question. Okay, I will tell you. Definitely, AI is very powerful. It helps you in technology. You can be more efficient with AI. You can predict better. You can diagnose better. But story comes from the heart. Okay? Creativity comes from heart. Like, how will I describe how I love my mother? Or how your mother loves you? No algorithm in AI can tell that one. Tears come when you are happy. Tears come when you are sad. AI will not understand you. Anything connected to the emotion, AI will not understand. It is the emotionless. It is most efficient, technology-oriented machine. Use it for weather prediction, agriculture, and design, many modern things, but don't bring it to your heart. Heart is different. Brain is different. Okay.
There's a lady over here who has made a painting. Would you like to show it to the audience?
Thank you. I'll give it to Gopi. I want to tell a little bit about Gopi.
What's your question?
When I'm in Delhi, so many children come and ask me, Mom, we never came to see you. We came to see Gopi. Okay? And they give a shawl to him in the winter. They give him a battery if he goes out in the night. They all think Gopi really talks. Okay? Gopi is a golden retriever like any other dog. Okay? Fine. Tell me. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, ma'am. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's like a dream come true. So I have two questions. First,
Only one, please, because we have a lot of people.
okay.
All right.
Chalo, jaldi se. In only 4 minutes left.
Question is, I started reading books because of you. So I also wrote a book, and it's yet to publish. So any tips for me?
Yeah, people of your age, write a book, don't publish it. Because people who undergo so many difficulties, failure, success, humor, all these things are able to understand the emotions and they can write better. At 16, 14, 12 years old, you do not know what life is. So at your age also I used to write, but I never used to publish because my mother told me keep it in a file, read after 2 years, you feel funny, you add some more page. Even today when I write a book, I don't publish it within 1 month. I keep it for 3 months, reread it, add, subtract. You require experience of life to write a good book. Okay, not always success. Repeated success makes a person arrogant. Repeated failures makes a person diffident. Good amount of failures, good amount of success makes you a mature person. Please allow yourself to lead a normal life. You will have plus, minus, and then you go on reading, then you publish. This is my way. Unless you are exceptionally brilliant like Rabindranath Tagore, then I'm a wrong person to tell all these things.
Thank you. The session is coming to a close, so I'm going to actually ask you the last question, which is that how would you like children in 30, 40 years from now to read your books? What would you like your legacy to be for children of the future?
I don't have any legacy. Do we remember the first person who took rice, removed the husk and made the rice and made chawal and which we are eating every day? Do we remember him? We don't. Do you remember the person who wrote the first alphabet A, I, E and today we join them and make a word and then the sentence and converse? No. So I am not a great person. I am an ordinary person. I don't have anything to remember about me. I lived a life the way I believed. I made some people happy. I am happy about it. I helped some people because it was I enjoyed it and I am sincere to myself. More than that, I don't remember anything. Next, after 40 years, we don't know. We don't know because anything can change. So life, I do not know. I don't even imagine what it will be after 40 years. The day it is there, life is nothing but an adjustment and change. People change, people live. No, I don't have anything. Plus 40 years, neither I have anything of my own legacy. Nothing about that. Thank you for patient hearing. It's always a joy to be with audience. That's the best way to connect. Learn something which I do not know. If anything is wrong in my book, please inform me. I will correct myself. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much.
We would like to thank Sudha Murty ji and Meru Gokhale for a truly enlightening session.